different story here in the Bay Area where we're just getting hammered by Carl and all that fog. I'm going to stand over here where it's a little warmer and get out of the haze of the coastal fog and clouds.
You had to go to the Delta to get out of it.
Yeah, I'm in Discovery Bay maybe, right?
Yeah, right about. Maybe a little bit farther inland than that. And the important thing about this is if you look at the timestamp on there, I brought us back to 8 o'clock this morning today. That's how widespread the marine layer was today. This was overdrive. If I had brought this back to 6 a.m., these clouds actually had for a time made it all the way out to Sacramento. And that does happen every so often in the summer. When the marine layer is getting thrown so far inland, for a brief time in the morning, Sacramento wakes up to Carl the fog, or at least our batch of marine layers. Very seldom ever fog on the ground there. Let me show you what happened to this today. We're going to melt this back, so we'll say goodbye to that. And I'm going to take it from 8 a.m. to about 1 in the afternoon. And very fast. We ended up with more sunshine than anything else today. Look up here. That's live. Just a little bit of fog now showing up right over Alcatraz. That's from the top of the Salesforce Tower. Alcatraz sits right in the middle there. So this is now starting to come back on shore. Let's see how far it's going to go for tomorrow. So we'll go back to the virtual map. And the answer to that is not very far. It is going to build back in overnight tonight. So we'll watch the Futurecast depiction. And by the time we get to about 8 a.m., it's gotten into maybe just the immediate Golden Gate. That's about it. It's Santa Clara Valley. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning and it'll be clear skies, likely even at sunrise. Tri-Valley definitely, and North Bay valleys might be a bit touch and go. So we're going to have less marine layer tomorrow, and you're going to warm up as a result. Watch what happens if we take this and put the visualize on here for temperatures. And we're going to look at this in a comparison between tomorrow and Friday. Friday is the day the more noticeable warm-up's happening. But even these numbers, your Thursday afternoon is already about 2 to 4 degrees warmer than you were today. It's subtle. You may not notice. I think Friday you will. You'll see why in 1 second. But take a look at your daytime highs. That's Thursday. Sunshine right out of the gate in the morning inland, and that's going to allow your daytime highs to warm up to the upper 80s. And you'll see the city's still hanging on to the mid-60s. Watch what happens when we switch this now. We'll say goodbye to the Thursday numbers, and we're going to transition this to the contour on here for Friday. Now you see there's a lot. Looks a bit angrier out there in the Central Valley with those deep shades of red. And of course, when we put our numbers on here now, this is Friday, and now we are climbing. Take a look at Concord. You're going to the mid-90s. We're going to get Antioch close to 100. Don't think you'll get there, but it'll be close. Take a look at the South Bay numbers. You're going to be getting up into the mid-80s there for San Jose. And here's, I think, the real number that gives probably the most heads up is what San Francisco is going to do at 70. So it's not oppressively hot. But when San Francisco does get to 70, that's usually your sign that generally Bay Area wide, it's a notably warm day. 70 in the city happens often in the summer, but not all that often. So make them start thinking about that. Now, Friday and Saturday, you're going to have 2 days like this where you're really going to be able to get out and enjoy kind of those warmer days for what San Francisco can experience throughout the course of a summer. Let's see how long it'll last. We'll put it in the 7-day forecast. The takeaway from this really is Friday and Saturday. So if we look at the 7-day forecast for the inland microclimate, you get that bump on Friday. You kind of stay there on Saturday. Maybe you get a little bit of a drop, but it's more noticeable Sunday. And then once we get into next week, we're right back into the marine layer coming in a little more purposefully, a little bit grayer in the morning, and daytime highs will come back down low to mid 80s, pretty much what you were doing yesterday. And we'll finish this up by showing you what the Bay's numbers are, a trend which will show you more marine layer, certainly here. Once we get to like Sunday, we're really going to see the marine layer start pushing back in again, very similar to kind of what it did today. And it'll stay that way going in through much of the early and middle part of next week. That's where the forecast stands for now.